I'm live. Hi, how are you? It has been a super long day because I am back in the office now. I'm treating myself to one of my favorite candies. Or you can tell it's my favorite candy because I keep it on my desk. Yeah. Anybody that comes in, and they're really good. They're like, I don't know, caramel, and then they have like a cream inside. I don't know. I'm addicted. Although, truthfully, I always got them at the gas station, and they're like way more stale at the gas station. I kind of like them better that way. I don't know. I don't know what these are called even. Oh, bullseye. They're called bullseyes. I don't know. I always called them caramel creams, but whatever. Anyway, so how has your week been going? Hopefully good. I should not have just stuck a caramel cream in my mouth right before going on air. That's just rude. I'm sorry. But it has been a Monday. Like if it wasn't a Monday already, I just got back from vacation. And so, wow. It's definitely been a Monday. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I did so much work before. So I did like all my videos and all my editing and all of the daily newscasts as much as I could and all the stuff, right? So that I wouldn't have as much stuff. I wouldn't be behind, all that kind of thing. And now I got back and I'm like, what have I forgotten? I know I've forgotten something. So I don't know. It's just been a little bit crazy. I'm officially back from my cruise. Yeah, I so was going to try and like do a live or something like that from the cruise. I didn't do anything. Okay. I love y'all, but I just vacationed, honestly. I did finish my book, which was cool. It sounds like I finished reading a book. No, I actually wrote a book. So it's up on Kindle, up on Amazon, whatever. So it's hold on. I don't know if I can show probably not. Anyway, it's called How to How to FISBO like a Pro. So if you want to know how to sell your house yourself using like social media and using professional photography, just basically everything that we do, it's up there. It's a really super short read, but yeah, it's basically all the stuff like what contracts are a good idea and which ones are a really bad idea, all the stuff. Anyway. I'm sorry. I don't normally eat a caramel cream right before you guys get on, but I really felt like I deserved a treat by getting through today. It was rough. Anyway, and they were sitting there staring at me. Like I said, this is on my desk for anybody that comes in my office. It's just always sitting there. These are called bullseyes, and I love them, and everybody else apparently loves them too. And I give them as gifts and all sorts of stuff. I get a massive bag of them at a time. And yeah, so every once in a while when I just need to like switch out from like professional doing this, doing that, doing whatever to, okay, relax. Let's take a breath. I have a caramel cream. But anyway, but everybody that comes in the door, that's literally like the first thing they see is this big jar of bullseyes. But I still think the ones at the gas station that are slightly stale are better. I don't know if it's because of the cream. I don't know why, but I like the stale ones a little bit better. So, but I never have them in my office long enough for them to get stale. Like people just come in and I don't know though, because everybody in my office seems to be dieting right now. Not sure what that's about, but like everybody. So like we have our property management meeting on Monday mornings, and Medina, who is basically a joy and a pleasure to work with, she's just basically in charge of our office. She makes everything flow. Well, on Monday mornings, she sets out like, like pastries and fruit and all sorts of stuff. So we're having the whole meeting and I'm like, nobody is eating the pastries. It was like my favorite pastries. And I'm like, so we're all in the meeting and I'm like, fruit, hello, no, they're on these diets that don't include fruit. Anyway, so I'm like, sure. So I was eating blackberries and raspberries and I ate 2 pastries and they were small. They were small pastries, but they were really, really good. So whatever. So everybody's on diet. So I don't know. The bullseyes will probably last on my desk for a long time because everybody's dieting right now. But like one of my agents is down like 30 pounds. Another one's down like 20 pounds. I'm like, I left on a vacation. I come back and there's like half of you. Like what just happened? That is just bizarre. The cruise was amazing. I love going on a cruise. And then also we took the Bright Line. It was so cool. I cannot wait to that. I took video of, I took notes. I was like really trying to figure, I grilled the poor guy that was working. I don't know. Let's see, on a plane, it would be called a flight attendant. So I guess a train attendant, I guess the train attendant. Anyway, but yeah, we were like grilling him. Also, the train attendants during the week, I have to say, are a higher caliber than the ones on the weekend. Just saying, that was what we noticed. But no, we did. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I love taking the train, and we learned quite a bit. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I did get in trouble though with Brightline. Not really bad, but so I didn't know anything at all, like about how it actually functioned because I'd never ridden it before. And so we're up at the train station, which is like at Orlando, it's like upstairs. And then when your train is there and you're ready to go, you go down the escalator and you get on your train. Well, I'm standing by the door and I'm like, oh, a train just came in or whatever. It wasn't our train, but we were waiting for our train to go. So the train comes in and it stops and all the people come off and then there's the train just sitting there and the whole place was just like empty. And I'm like, I really want pictures. So I went down and was like taking pictures and taking selfies and stuff. I was the only one out there. There was nobody on the train. There was nobody on the track. There was nobody on the platform, like nothing. It was just cleared out. All of a sudden this lady's like walking up to me and she's saying something, but the wind was hitting it. I was just like, like no idea. And she's like, did you just get off the train? And I was like, no, I'm going on it in like half an hour. And she's just like, oh yeah, you can't be down here. And I was like, oh, okay. Nobody said anything. There's no signs. There's no nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So I go back up. She goes, hopefully it was good selfies though. And I'm like, so I sort of got in trouble. It wasn't bad though. But yeah, that is definitely the next video is the Brightline video because I have literally been waiting years to do that. And I was very specific with it. On the way from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, we rode regular, which is like, I don't know, it's like the cheap seats, I guess. But I really wanted to see what it would be like both ways. So I think they call it Smart Fare. So we took Smart Fare down there. And then I knew we were going to have, a couple hours basically at the station. So I wasn't sure how long it would take to get off the ship and all of that stuff. So, and I didn't want to miss a train. So I just made sure that there was a couple hours in between, which was great. So for that, I went ahead and did the premium because then you have the premium lounge and it has like food and drinks and alcohol and all sorts of stuff. So at Fort Lauderdale, we actually went into the premium lounge and then we got premium seats on the way back. So it was pretty cool. I won't tell you everything, even though I'm super excited about it. But yeah, it was really pretty cool. I loved it. I was so thrilled. I'm so thrilled that we actually have this in Florida and that it's, spreading to more parts of Florida. So it'll be really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's basically a commuter train. So there was some really interesting stuff going on. But again, I don't want to spoil the video. I will leave that alone. It's coming soon. I just need to, edit it and stuff. But so cool. So cool. So excited. And then of course the cruising, but we love to do cruising. My husband and I are we are literally the polar opposite. I know opposites attract and all of that, but no, we really are polar opposite. You cannot get any more opposite unless we were from other countries. You really can't get more opposite than my husband and I. He is extremely detail oriented. he used to have a job. He literally went to college for quality control. So we call him QC sometimes. So he loves going into the nth degree details, but he misses the big picture sometimes. Like he will be like, okay, this is now perfect. This is literally you can't really get perfect in his world. There's always room for improvement also. So, but yeah, he'll be like, okay, this is perfect. And then I'll come in and I'll be like, yeah, that's perfect, but the entire building's on fire. So yeah, he loses track of the big picture, and I'm a very much big picture person. So everything we do is very, very opposite. Even when it comes to, and especially when it comes to going on vacation. And this is the first vacation him and I have ever taken where it was just us. And I literally told Medina before I went, I was like, we're either going to come back madly in love with each other or ready for divorce. Like there's going to be no in between. So, we still love each other. It's awesome. But it was definitely different. Like he loves to do everything under the sun. Like he has to get involved with everything. Like he has to see every show. He has to see them multiple times. He has to, if they have ice skating, we're going ice skating. He has to do all the stuff. Okay. He's a serious FOMO. Okay. Like fear of missing out, big time. Me, when I'm on vacation, I want a book and the pool and a lounger and a Mai Tai or an iced coffee. That is it. You can literally, I will just go and get something to eat. I don't really even care if like some chips or something, just munchies or whatever, and just leave me by the pool for the whole thing. I don't need to go to dinner. I don't need to go to shows. I don't care. I am happy in my own little head and just contemplating the cosmos or writing my book or whatever, but just plunk me down next to a pool. I'm golden. I could literally sit by a pool for 2 weeks and ponder the wonders of the universe, and I would be completely fine. Like, I don't have to do anything. So he kept wanting to go and do stuff, and I'm just like, I am doing something. I'm here. So yeah, it was really funny. But so we compromised, of course, and we did the shows and stuff at night, multiple shows some nights. We did see the ice skating show twice, the ice show twice. We did a lot of stuff. We went to dinner every night, which was at 5:00. So by 4:30, that was pool time or outside time was over. And now it was basically his turn. And my husband's not a really big book reader, whereas I could literally work for a week straight. I could just curl up into the books and just do that. So it's just kind of funny. So yeah, he doesn't really do the water rides or, because they have these massive slides and stuff, but he's always like, you should do this. You should do that. You should. No, I'm fine. Leave me alone. So he doesn't want to go and do it because he has serious fear of heights for some reason. He's 6'4". You would think that he wouldn't have a fear of heights. He's already super high. Whatever. So me and my short self are all jealous. But yeah, so I did go down a water slide. Mostly, I don't know why, but the lifeguards they were manning the water slides. I don't know who started it or why they started it, but every day when they would see me, nobody else, when they would see me, they would be like, you got to go on the water slide. And I'm like, I've got all my laptop in my bag and I've got my sunscreen and I'm ready to go and sit by the pool. And I'm looking at the water slide and I'm like, no, I value my life. I'm good. And I just kept, every single time they saw me, they're like, are you going to go on the water slide now? Are you going on the water slide? I'm like, no. So then I did go on the water slide, and apparently the people that were bugging me to go on the water slide weren't even working, so they had no idea that I even went on it. So but I did take my GoPro, and I don't know if you're supposed to or not, so I wasn't sure if they would tell me I had to go back down the 7 flights of stairs or whatever. So I just tucked it in my bathing suit, and then I started going down the slide, and I took it out, but I don't know how it turned out really. It was just so I went down with the GoPro. That was fun. So there's, for those of us that are heavily blessed, there's plenty of room to tuck stuff. They couldn't even see the whole GoPro camera. It was like down in there. And then as soon as I got out, I was just like, whoo. And so basically you just saw a whole bunch of slide going and water going and like whatever, but it was fun. I have like, I could have wore it on my head. I have like a necklace GoPro holder. I got like stuff at this. I even have like a chest one. I didn't use any of that. I just tucked it in and held it when I got out, but it was crazy. It's like this big, huge slide. They have like 3 different water slides, massive ones. And the one I went down, you basically get flushed down a toilet. I'm not even joking. That's what I felt like, a just giant turd. Okay. Because sorry, that's rude, but it's true. You go down the slide, and then when you get to the bottom, there's like this big huge pool, and it kind of sloshes you around. You're like spinning like this, and then there's a hole in the middle, just like a toilet drain, and you slosh down the toilet drain. And I was like, I now know what it feels like to get flushed down a toilet. I mean, that's honest to God what it felt like that's weird. So I only went on it the one time, and I'm like, I could live with not doing that again. I'm good. Plus, it was really scary that day. Not the slide. The slide was fine. But you go up the like 6 or 7 flights of stairs that are like on the outside of the ship or whatever. And it was really, really, really windy that day. And I had to keep telling myself that I am way too heavy of a person to go flying off the side. So I was actually really super excited to get to the slide, because the stairs that you had to wait on before you could get to the slide, I was just blowing in the wind. I'm like, I am not going to fall off the stairs. The wind is not going to whip me off the stairs. I am too heavy for the wind to whip me off. That's the whole thing I was saying to myself. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, I did that. I did not zip line, because I have done zip lining here in Ocala, and it's over a canyon and through the trees, and nothing can beat that. So I didn't bother with that. What else? I don't know. We did all sorts of stuff. But yeah, my husband, we had a great time. It was just so weird doing it without the kids, because normally the kids are there. But I do think I will have other people go on cruising with us again, because I need somebody to distract my husband so he'll leave me by the pool. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to hang out. He can't just hang out. And I know this about him. I don't know what I was thinking. But like during the COVID, where we couldn't really go out, he literally lost his mind. He can't stay at home. Even if he's sick, he has a hard time staying at home. So it's like, so I knew this. I don't know what in the world. And I know what I'm like on vacation, which is basically I hibernate like a freaking bear, because I people so much, and it's like I'm constantly doing stuff so much that it's like all or nothing. So it's either I am on stage and on fire and ready to tackle the world, or I am nearly comatose. There is no in between. So yeah, but the book, I finally got that up on Kindle. That was exciting. It was very, very cool. It took them I think it took them 48 hours to approve the book. And I think most of it was just checking to see if I wrote it or if it was AI. All they had to really do was check all the grammatical errors and run on sentences, and they would have known it was mine, but whatever. My daughter says she's going to go in and edit it, because my run-on sentences are like ridiculous. So she's like, have you never heard of a semicolon, Mom? And I was like, yeah, but I still don't really know what those do. So you know what? It's fine. It's either a comma or a period. I don't know. The semicolon is just used for a smiley face, smiley winky face. I don't know. I don't use those. And she's just like lost cause. Now, my daughter is 15 years old and has been trying to spell check me since she was about 10. She wants to be a book editor. That is literally what she wants to do. She loves the English language so much, to a kind of scary degree. So I will allow her to check my grammar. My spelling is normally fine, but the grammar, especially when you know more than one language, your grammar can be not right. So, especially, I speak English and Spanish, and I've been really, really working hard on my Spanish lately since I'm about to go and teach a class in Spanish, completely in Spanish. So that's going to be terrifying. Hey, Shiloh. Hello to Missouri. So yes, on the 29th and 30th, I will be in Miami teaching property management in Spanish completely. I am terrified. Not because, like, if I was just speaking Spanish or whatever conversationally, absolutely no problem. In a classroom with me as the professional, with a group of like 100 people all listening to my Spanish. I have street Spanish is what I call it. It's del calle. It's like gutter Spanish. It's like, it's not professional Spanish at all. Professional is like this very posh Spanish. I don't have that. Okay. I have the equivalent to like redneck English is my my street Spanish. So it's okay, but I've never used it in a professional manner. I've always had it more, conversation, like this. Technically, I should be a lot more posh and professional while I speak on this. Yeah, I don't. My English and Spanish are both faulty in that regard. So yeah, I'm hoping that they will be very forgiving. Because it's not the book is very, very much it's all in Spanish, but it's very professional Spanish, which I don't know if y'all know this or not, but in Spanish, the more professional it gets, the more they try to make one word an entire sentence. Like one word can have, like, especially when they put mente at the end. Oh my goodness. Like, how many consonants and vowels can you possibly get into one freaking word? So yeah, it gets complicated when it gets professional, and I'm should be interesting. Should be interesting. The other issue is that, much like English, if I were to say, will you put this in your boot here, then you're like, why are you trying to get me to put something in my shoes? If I were to say that to somebody from England, for example, they'd be like, oh, sure. What do you want me to put in the trunk? It's the same word. Boot is the same word. Well, in Spanish, they have that, but way more so, like way more so. So I was laughing. Somebody was like, oh, they were speaking Spanish. And I was like, no, it really is. Oh, maybe you don't notice it as much, but I definitely do. So like if I say the word gomas in Spanish, depending on what area you're from, it could be an eraser, like a pencil eraser. It could be tires. It could be a condom, or it could be, hold on, what's the other one? Or rubber. It could be just rubber. It's the same word, but it just depends on what country you're from. So I could be talking about tires, and they're thinking they're thinking something totally different. And that actually did just I had some wonderful people that I think they were from Colombia, if I remember. If it's not right, don't kill me, because they do watch this channel. But I looked over at Lottie, and she is Puerto Rican, New Yorican. She's fantastic. You guys know her. Her Spanish, she goes back and forth English to Spanish like mid-sentence. She's fantastic. But she was working with this family, and normally when somebody comes in, they just work with one agent. But I walked in and they had brought their entire family, and we're talking like 10 people, and they were all buying houses. And I was like, oh, there is no chance that I'm leaving her to this on a Saturday. And I mean, she could have handled it, but it's hard because they were looking at different things in different houses for, it was like the brother-in-law, the sister-in-law, it was a lot. So I was like, do you want me to go with you? And she's like, yes. So we were working together. It was a mishmash of Spanglish because some spoke English, some only Spanish, some both. So it was a mishmash. But at the very end, I was like, Lottie, why are they calling me a monkey? And she's like, what? And I was like, I know what they're saying, and they keep calling me a monkey, and I don't understand, like, did I insult them or something? Why are they saying that about me? And she's just like, "They're not," and then she's listening over because they weren't talking directly to me, they were talking to each other about me, and I'm going, I know that word." And I was just very confused how I had insulted them so badly, that they would say something so insulting about me. And so Alati being Alati and New Yorican, she's like, "Why are you calling her that?" And they're like, "What?" Like, why would she be offended that we're calling her blonde? Where they're from, the exact same word, mono or mona, in Puerto Rico, that's monkey. That is only monkey. That is never, ever blonde. Rubia is blonde. So they were talking about my pretty blonde hair or the blonde, and the whole time I'm thinking they're calling me a monkey. My fear is I'm going to go to teach this class and I'm going to brutally insult somebody and not know it. It's going to be awful. Ah! Tell clean jokes. I'm telling you. I don't know. I there is definitely some trouble I've gotten myself into, but that was when I was a teenager, so it should be fine. Be, be relaxed and tell clean jokes. You never know, though. You don't know. You think you're talking about tires, and it's actually not. So there's a lot more of that just because there's so many different countries and different regions that speak Spanish. They completely change the word. The context can be completely different depending on where they're at. So the best thing to do is to keep as professional as possible. So it's a little posh or whatever, but it keeps you out of trouble. The problem is I don't know that Spanish. So should be interesting. I will let you guys know how it turns out, but I will be down there in Miami with my street Spanglish, and that's going to be on the 29th and 30th. So I'll be at the Realtors Association. In the morning, it's going to be Puerto Rican property management. See, now I can't even speak English. Property management and for the real estate professional. And then in the afternoon, it's going to be jumpstart your real estate career, which the director already warned me really should be in Spanish because it's going to be a lot of the people from the morning is going to be in the afternoon. So what I did is I went ahead and translated the whole thing into Spanish so that if somebody's not quite getting what I'm saying, I can go ahead and just say it in Spanish and it's already right there and very professional. So I think I'm on out of the whole course book, it's only like 37 pages and I've got like 23 done already. So I should be okay with that. But I got to use like really posh Spanish with that. So we'll see. So yeah, kind of interesting. It's definitely added another layer of interesting to this whole teaching and associations thing. But did they approve the apartments in front of On Top of the World today? That is actually tonight. So that should be going on actually right now. And it was going to be a packed house of a lot of people that are from On Top of the World. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go to that one. So yeah, I believe that's tonight over at, I think it's at town hall at the downtown. So, but yeah, that was tonight, I believe. So I think it started at like, I don't know, about an hour ago. So I'm sure it's still going on. And I do not know. I don't think it was going to. It just came through. They approved. See, I bet you, I was thinking they would just because I bet that the developer had a lot of stuff going over through On Top of the World as to why it would be a good thing. I don't know though, but it just came in through. Okay. So yeah, they did. I wasn't going there. It sounded like there was going to be quite a few people speaking, like standing room only. And I don't want to. I didn't want to. Because it's going to get approved. Whether it gets approved right now or it gets approved later, it's going to get approved. But yeah, I was kind of figuring it would. The one that I missed that I really wanted to go to that I couldn't was the school board had like an update going on and how the school zones are changing. And I missed that one I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to it in person, but they had it online live, and I wanted to watch it. But we were at the NARPM Broker Owner Conference, which was in Amelia Island this year. So this is a national organization, and it was a national event, which I've never been to a NARPM national event. And let me tell you, it was off the charts amazing. So it was really crazy because we went on the cruise and then we got back and we got to spend one night in our actual beds. And then we went to the NARPM Broker Owner Conference. So NARPM, in case you didn't know, is the National Association of Residential Property Managers. And I was on the planning committee. So there was no chance that I couldn't go. I had to be there. So it was just weird how the cruise and the NARPM thing all came about. It was just, wow. So we went to that, and that's where I was, and I really wanted to see the school zone thing. I think it was last Tuesday night, but there was literally no way. The NARPM thing, it was like a 72-hour straight event. If you weren't, I mean, and I was supposed to be there at like 7:30 in the morning. Again, planning committee, joy. Uh, so even though the event started at 9, I had to be there at 7:30 in the morning. And then during the whole thing, I was running here, running there, and then lunch, you want to talk to the other brokers and ask questions about what it's like in their area and how their business is set up, because it was only broker owners of property management companies and real estate companies. So it was really, really fascinating stuff. My husband and I were both there, and I kind of snuck him in. Don't tell him. He was just like, I don't have a badge. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Because he's not technically a broker. We flipped a coin. I lost. I'm the broker. So for this, he was my plus one, basically. So we snuck him in, but he didn't get a badge. He didn't get anything. Even though he is a NARPA member, you cannot go to this unless you are a broker owner or like your plus one. So I don't know. We snuck him in. They didn't give us any issues with it. Maybe because I was on planning committee. I don't know, but it was really, really good information. And again, because I was so busy, I couldn't go to like some of the larger things. So my husband went to those and took notes and stuff. And so it was good. It worked out really, really well. But it was also very fast paced. There was networking events every night. It was chaos. So yeah, there was no chance that I could go to the zoning thing. So I'm hoping maybe I can watch it on replay. I don't know. But it was interesting. So yeah, but I did see the apartments on top of the world. That should be really, really interesting. I don't know. It's kind of weird because everybody's like, oh, well, we don't want any more development. That's not possible. Okay. We need housing. We need grocery stores. We need all of this. We need more schools. So that's not really possible. What they're trying to do is contain it to in and just around the city of Ocala. So they're just trying to do they're like, look, people are moving here. It's not a question. People are moving here. And if you as a citizen and a current resident want to be able to purchase homes and not have astronomical prices, then we have to deal with this supply and demand issue, which means we have to be able to build apartment buildings. We have to be able to build townhouses. We have to build new homes. We have to widen streets. We have to build new schools. It has to happen. And everybody's like, no, we're going to lose our horse farms. No, they're not building. That is not where they're doing the developments and stuff. They're doing the developments in and around I-75, which, I mean, who wants a horse farm on I-75 anyway? By 200. 200 is, the main road through Ocala. 200 and I-75 is probably one of the busiest, if not the busiest road in the entire county. So that's where the majority of our new developments and new construction and stuff like that is going, is in and around 200 or right in or just outside of the city. They're trying to really keep the development in that. But because we have such a huge area that even if you're just doing in and around the city, there's development after development after. They're like, oh my goodness, 300 houses got approved. Okay, that means in like 3 to 5 years, you'll have 300. You won't have them tomorrow. It's going to be a while. So it's just approved to build them. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy, but I believe it will. So yeah, I believe it will. However, keep note, there are some apartments that are very near on top of the world over on 60th that are currently being built that are not age restricted. So from what I understood it was going to be, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So don't hold me to that. And that's also subject to change because what was it? That development, Ocala Preserve. Ocala Preserve was all supposed to be adult community, and now it's actually a mix and match. So you could be on one street and it's 55 plus, and you could be on another street and it's all ages. So that one, that I would not have predicted either, but it is what it is. But there are plenty of apartments currently being built and have just been built that are all ages. So down in the Villages, there's this really cool apartment complex that is all ages except for one building. One building is specifically for 55 plus or adults of all ages that need assistance. So maybe if somebody's in a wheelchair or has vision issues or something like that, then they can go as well. They'll get approved to go in as well. But for the majority, it's 55 plus. They have their own clubhouse rooms on the bottom floor. They have their own everything. It's all separate building completely. All the other buildings are all ages, but that one is only 55 plus. And they have it for income reduction. So if you're on Social Security, you can go in there for a reduced rate. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, So I would love it if they would do something like that here, as opposed to just down in the Villages. Because the whole thing it wasn't, low income or something like that. It was just the one building was for 55 plus. And so it wasn't like, oh, that's just low income or something like, no, it was actually just a regular apartment complex. Excuse me, but they literally set aside one building specifically for, 55 plus. I thought it was cool. I was like, that would be so nice to have, I can't say that there's a prejudice against low income, but there is. I mean, let's be honest. So, if you put, oh, this is all low income or, housing assistance or something like that, the whole complex, it can be seen as maybe not such a great thing for the area, even though it's necessary and needed. It's still hard for a neighborhood or a community to be like, oh yeah, let's do that. So even though, again, it's necessary and needed, but to have just a regular apartment complex and then one building that's low, that's so cool. You can kind of sneak it in. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool to have one building low income and the rest regular. I don't know, because then it's not like, I don't know. You couldn't tell. I mean, it's not like they have, big, huge signs. This one's the low income. No, it wasn't like that. It was just the whole complex as a whole. And then there's that one building is slightly different when you move in. And that's really the only way they could really tell there was a difference, was just the move-in restrictions were restricted. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. How does the mixed age group areas do for resale? So far, the mixed age group areas. So if we're talking like Ocala Preserve, I don't know, because they've only recently been doing the mixed age group mixed in with the 55 plus. So I don't know how that one's going to go for resale. So far as I've heard, it really hasn't made a huge, difference either way. As far as like the all ages communities, those are easier normally to find a buyer for than a 55 plus. But obviously, because your buyer pool is going to be much, like when you restrict who can buy a property, you're also restricting your buyer pool. So those are the only people, this little group of people are the only ones able to purchase your home instead of opening up to everybody. So when you do that, you're going to have to wait for very specific buyers. So uh, normally 55 plus communities are less expensive than, let's say, an all ages community with the exact same amenities just down the street. The 55 plus is going to be less expensive to purchase in. Not for any other reason, but it's just a restricted buyer pool. Again, going into supply and demand, the demand is not going to be as much for a 55 plus community. So, yeah. Are you thinking about going to a 55 plus community and you're like, should I not? We're all waiting with bated breath for Shiloh. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry about that, but I was just curious. Yeah. So what I can say is, while you may be looking at that as a detriment, you also have to remember when you go to purchase, it's going to be less expensive for you too. So just keep that in mind. There's pros and cons to everything. I don't know if you guys do this or not, but I always sit on one foot or the other. In my office chair, I'm never just sitting. I always have to have my ankle underneath my leg. I don't know why. I just have to. And then every once in a while I have to switch to make sure there's still circulation. So currently my right foot is underneath my left leg. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why. Your kids live in Gainesville. Yeah, that is a college town. I bet there is a whole bunch of stuff going on over there that they are probably either work related because the hospital and stuff over there, or if they're younger, there's a lot of stuff that you can do over there. I like going to Gainesville to visit. I don't want to live there. That sounds so bad. There's nothing wrong with Gainesville. It's a college town. So it's just a different mentality. I like smaller, which would be Ocala. I do wish we had a Trader Joe's. We will eventually have a Trader Joe's. So I like some of the amenities that you can find in Gainesville, such as Trader Joe's, for crying out loud. And some of the restaurants, they've got great restaurants. They got a Cheesecake Factory. They've got, oh my goodness, they've got like everything up there. Honestly, they've got a Chewy's. They've got all the restaurants. They got a bento box restaurant, all sorts of stuff. So I do like going to visit. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. Anyway, I like going to visit. I don't want to live there though. So, but it's only for me. Like if I went right now to downtown Gainesville, it'd be a 35-minute drive. It's really not bad. That actually depends. Oh, they work for UF. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's awesome. Like really great job with that. No, not necessarily. We're gonna go with that. There's a trend going on, I think, with the larger developers like DR Horton. I'm sorry, I'm putting on lotion in case you guys are wondering what on earth I'm doing. I just noticed that my freaking hands are dry. But like some of the new home construction, like DR Horton, on Top of the World, all ages across the street from them, which is called Kalesa. That very small lots as well. So the houses are pretty close together and stuff. That Lennar also, the houses are really close together. So it really just depends. But if you're going into like a lot of the Adams homes, not necessarily in their subdivisions, because I think subdivisions are the same way, but when they buy like spot lots, so you could go into like my neighborhood. Adams Homes builds in my neighborhood quite a bit, and they have much larger lots there. So it just depends on really what you want. So for me right now, we have a large yard. We use very little of it. Honestly, I could do with a lot less yard. It sounds really good until you go to maintain it. And I mean, it's not like like our kids don't play in the yard anymore. They're not that age anymore. The dog enjoys it, but she's small. She doesn't need that much yard either. The kids next door, honestly, they're the ones that use our yard more than we do because we don't have a fence up right now. So we're putting up a fence currently. So that's going to kill their soccer field. But yeah, that I don't know. I don't know that I would go to a large yard at this point because I mean I have a small garden. That's plenty for me. So basically our porch and a little bit extra, that's really all I need. So would I go with a big yard again at this point in my life? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But to each their own. They have a Spurrier's Grill. Right? I mean, just be like, "Hey, we're going to lunch or we're going to dinner," and just go join your kids up there and then come back to the very little traffic. That's basically. I do know of some affordable housing that technically is. Hold on. They've got all of these different names going on in real estate right now. So there is low income housing where it has government assistance basically. Then they have affordable housing or workforce housing. That's supposed to be just basically, that could be anything. Because the median price for houses right now in Ocala are less than 250,000. So you could get a brand new construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double car garage on a 1/4 acre lot for about $250,000. That's pretty affordable. So now if you're looking for government housing, low income housing, that's different, but they do have some coming up in Silver Spring Shores area. There is a fairly large complex going in over there. They've been working on it for a few years now. And that, from what I understand, should be up and ready to go within the next 12 to 24 months. So, yes. Okay. Shiloh asked, you have a daughter who swims? Yes. I lap swim as well. Where are the areas with decent lap pools? Sorry to hog the conversation, guys. You're not. I'm just glad somebody's writing because some nights I swear I'll get a hello or a hi from somebody and then that's it. And I just got to carry the whole conversation. So I'm thrilled. Thank you so much for everyone that's commenting. As far as lap pools, go to the Fast. Oh my goodness. That is the best lap pool ever. As far as I'm concerned, it is literally Olympic pool. It is literally, they were like, this is the pool used for Junior Olympics. Let's do that. So it has an indoor and an outdoor. It's open for lap swimmers. So if you want to go there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, knock yourself out. It's very, very affordable. I think it's like $40 a month or something like that. I mean, it was very, very affordable. You can do like just day visits, but I think that's more expensive really. It is heated, but not very much. Not very much. It needs to be more heated. I go in there in winter time and I'm like, whoa, it takes me a good 10 minutes to get in that water. I am not a swimmer. Like Lexi, she just goes right in. Doesn't bother her, doesn't phase her because, she was swimming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically all through all winter weather. And she was, so there wasn't like, you just tiptoe in. No, you go head first, you dive right in and you start doing your laps or the coach is screaming at you. So, so she's amazing at laps. She loves going to the Fast. It really is a phenomenal pool. So I would say the Fast, which is the Florida Aquatic and Swim and Training, which is right up by Calessa. I think Calessa would be the closest one. But there are some 55 plus communities that have some phenomenal pools too. Of course, on top of the world, but also Oak Run. Don't discount Oak Run. Oak Run has some amazing pools, beautiful lap swimming pools. And they have a full indoor pool as well that is gorgeous. So I think they've got 7 swimming pools at Oak Run and like 5 clubhouses. It's crazy. My mother-in-law used to live there, so we would go and we'd take the kids swimming and stuff, but when they were younger. But if you were going to do that. And then Ocala Preserve actually has they have a huge resort style pool, but they actually have a separate lap swimming pool as well. So, I mean, swimming is a year-round activity here. So you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever finding a decent swimming pool nearby. But I'd say the fast, if I were going to go to a good pool to go lap swimming, it would definitely be the fast. That would be my first choice. So anything around there would be good. But some of the 55 plus communities especially have some phenomenal lap swimming pools. So, okay. Do you know of any condos with 2-car garages? Woof. That is a really good question. I think they all have a single car garage. I think they all do. I have to think. If you can do 55 plus, I believe some of the villa homes over there, the patio homes, whatever they call them, technically they're not condos. They call them patio homes, but those have some 2-car garages. They're single story. And if you're really lucky, you can get an end unit so you don't have a neighbor on this side. And then you have a 2-car garage like right there. So basically, you don't share living space walls with anybody. I don't know. That just depends on what you want to do. So, yeah, probably if I were going to say condos on top of the world would be the ones. And I believe they do have double car garages there. I'm like 99% sure. Which is pretty sad because I actually have sold them before, but I don't want to. Yeah, those are 2-car garages. So yeah, on top of the world has them. Other than that, not off the top of my head. I think they're all single car garage. I'm trying to think what Windchase has. I think they're all single car. And then D.R. Horton just did a whole slew of townhomes, but I think those are all single car garages as well. I would have to double check. Yeah, I think those are all single car garages. Like I gotta look at the footage again. I'll take video. I swear, I take so many pictures and video, not only because I'm going to share them with you guys, but also because I have no memory. Like when you've seen like 6,000 different houses and different condos and stuff, they all start to blend together. So I gotta like remember what everything looks like. But yeah, I think those are single car garages, and then but on top of the world has 2-car. So are those houses in the Southwest? Yes. All of the above. The D.R. Horton ones, the on top of the world, that's all in Southwest Ocala. Aloha Wen says, yes, Aquatic Center is the best. Isn't it though? It is freaking amazing. It is so beautiful and so, I don't know, it's just so well maintained. So clean. So it's so perfect. It really is. They even in the bathrooms, I love, sounds so weird. I love the locker rooms, but I do. I mean, they're very, very nice. They're huge. And they even have that machine where you put your wet bathing suit in it and it spins out all the water. Okay. That's just lovely. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's something so small and silly, but at the same time, it is very helpful. Tesla 54. Hi, how are you? Shiloh says maybe a condo with a garage with a separate parking space. That's pretty much any of them. They normally have additional parking. It's just not right there at the location normally. It's at a secondary location. So if you have a boat, an RV, a second car, a massive rig or something like that, you can put all of that in there. Do you think house prices will go down? Ugh. Let me check my crystal ball. Oh, wait, I don't have one. Oh, sadly, it's in the shop. No, I honestly am not sure. I think it's really going to depend. I'm very much interested to see, this is an election year. So I'm interested to see what happens with the election. The issue is, yes, the interest rates may come down, but then the house prices will go up. So and mind you, it's still going to be less expensive for you on a monthly basis and all of that if you have a higher house price but a lower interest rate. But at the same time, you could just go ahead and buy down points and then you're in the same boat. So, I mean, to get a brand new construction house for like 250,000, I was just at the NARPM event and I told people that and they were like, you can get a brand new concrete block, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double car garage house on a 1/4 acre for 250,000. I'm like, yeah, all day long. And they're just like, that's not possible in Florida. And I was like, yeah, in Florida. They're like, that's not possible. That is literally not. And I'm like, it is possible. I could, if you want 6, I could get them for you. Like, I will get you the contract. Like, what? Sign here. And they're like, that's crazy. So we have very low prices already. Okay. Like anywhere else, it's very difficult to have everything that we have and have those prices. So, I mean, they have come down. We're talking like close to $100,000 in the last couple of years because it was crazy a couple of years ago. So we're back to actually, in some cases, less than pre-COVID. That's not bad. That's not bad. So maybe take the money that you would have had to spend on the house. Like if you had bought the house 18 months ago, we're talking like $40,000 more. 18 months ago, just 18 months. So if you take that same $40,000 and you go ahead and apply that towards buying down your interest rate points, you're basically back where you started. So I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to come down, but if it does, you can always refinance. I know that sounds so awful and so cliche and so salesman, but it's so totally true. The house prices are so low right now. They're so low and they're willing to do all sorts of stuff. Like D.R. Horton is running some crazy low deals. So is Lennar. They're doing some deals right now. Okay. So see what you can get out of them. I mean, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Interest rates are still high. Yes, but okay. So, and I'm sure you guys all know this, but if you have a house price, you buy the house at 250,000 and you're paying, I don't know, what, 6.5. Let's say you got 6.5 right now. So you're paying 6.5. 5 years from now, if the interest rates tank down below, and go ahead and refinance but what if they don't? What if they go up to 10%? You're still at 6. I don't know if they're going to go higher or lower, but you have all the control in that. The bank can't say, oh, you're going to pay now because you're not signing up for an ARM. You're doing a fixed rate. So you have all the power. You have all the control. You can say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stick to what I signed for. Or you can say, hey, that is a much lower interest rate. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign for that. So, I mean, it really, and again, if you buy down the points and you can get it for the entire length of the loan, which many of them are doing right now, you'll still end up doing like, you can get like 4.5% in some cases. Hello, do that. Just, shop around, look for the deals, check and see what you can get. And no, I would not, I really wouldn't wait because we don't know what's going to happen. And let's say you do go ahead and rent. Right now, renting, I don't know what you're renting right now, but let's say you are renting average house at $1,500 a month rent. By the way, that's 100% interest rate, just to let you know. But let's say $1,500 and you're going to do that times 12. You just spent $18,000 and you just kind of flushed it away. Okay. Yeah. So kind of interesting there. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but there was a house in Ocala that sold for $1.8 million. And then they just sold it again. And it was like $4 million. They made so much money on that house. You can't make money on rent. So if you rent for a year, you just made the landlord happy. And I don't care if you rent or you buy. This is not for me. Okay. I have a whole property management company. I don't care. If you rent, I make money. If you buy, I make money. I don't care. Okay. I've got the market cornered. Okay. If it's housing, I got it. Okay. So it really doesn't matter to me. But for you, I would say buy a home. And I say that every single time when it was at 2%, I was like, y'all, Buy a house. Buy a house now. You don't know that you will ever see these interest rates again. Buy a house now. And everybody's like, oh, you have to say that because you're a realtor. And I'm like, no, I have to say that because I know it's about to happen. Yeah. So will it go up? Will it go down? I don't know, but it's not a horrific interest rate right now, not based on what we've seen. In past decades, we have had double-digit interest rates. This isn't that bad. Everybody's acting like it's like the end of the world. It's not. I would go ahead and lock that in because after the elections, who knows what we're going to have? And I don't like having a big question mark, especially when it's regarding my rent or my mortgage, because you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to rent for a year. Okay, well, what about at the end of that year? What if interest rates do go into the double digits? Guess what's going to happen to your rent? Think this over. Like, really contemplate this. For right now, you're like, well, maybe I could get a bigger, better deal. Okay, yeah, maybe you could. Or maybe you could basically lose all chances of buying a home for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to take that risk. Risk is a huge indicator for me, and I'm just not going to take that risk. So if you can purchase a home, purchase the home. If you need to go ahead and do something different later, you can sell and rent then if you want, or you can go ahead and refinance. You have options. But if you don't and you just go ahead and rent for a year, you may not have the same options. So just think about it and make sure that you account for risk. Because I can promise you, if the interest rates go way sky high and everything else goes a little crazy, your rent's going to go up because everybody's going to be renting because they're not going to be able to purchase. They straight up will be priced out of the market. There will not be a question. They will have to rent, which then you're going to have that whole supply and demand issue again, where there is less and less supply and more demand. It's going to be problematic. So just factor risk, okay? Factor risk. Okay, can I borrow that crystal ball? Shyla, I wish. Mine's been in the shop for a long time. So yeah. The rates are high. Date the rate, marry the property. Yeah. Rates are cyclical and hopefully things will turn around. You are absolutely correct. They will turn around. We just don't know when, and we don't know if they're going to go up before they turn around. So I'm just, I don't know. I just factor risk. Okay. A lot of people think that rent is something they can rely on. As a property manager, I absolutely adamantly promise you, you cannot rely on rent. Okay. You can rely on it during the lease term normally. But thereafter, no, then you're back at square zero, square one. At that point, even if you're like, I can't buy right now, I have to renew my lease. If the owner wants to sell or they want to move people in or, family members, or they want to move back into it themselves, you're out of a house. You have absolutely no options at that point but to move. Unless you want an eviction, which is not what you want. You do not want one of those on your record, not in Florida. So, yeah, a lot of people rely too heavily on the stability of rent. And I can absolutely promise you, rent is more than double what it used to be when I got into the business, which was not that long ago. I'm not that old. So, you don't have any chicken bones that spill. No tea leaves, no chicken bones, nothing like that. $1,700 per month. $1,700 per month. Seriously. Go buy a house. Okay. Even if it's not like the Taj Mahal that you want to own, it's not your forever home, whatever. Buying a small starter home and paying the mortgage on that and selling it later, at least then you have equity in the home. Okay. That would be hands down my best advice for you. It does not matter what the market is doing. I would say that is the best advice to go and do that, because then you get to move when you want to move, not when the owner of the house decides. Also, your $1,700 a month, that's what, about pretty close to $20,000 a year. $20,000 a year that you're just going to flush. Like there's no equity in that. There's no tax deductions. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's just gone. It's just gone. We rented something. It's like leasing a car. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. And that's so sad because I'm a property. We literally have almost 300 properties in management. So for me to tell you, do not rent, please take that for what it is. I have seen too much. Okay. Tenants, they get so upset when the owner decides that they're not going to rent to them anymore for whatever personal reasons. It has nothing to do with the tenant. The tenant gets so mad. They're like, but I paid my rent on time every month. It has nothing to do with you. You don't own the home and the owner has other plans for it. You have no option. You rented it for the time frame of the lease. And after that, you have absolutely no say. None. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. Yeah, no, you don't. What if he comes in? He's like, yeah, you can stay, but you're going to pay $500 more a year, or excuse me, a month. And there were quite a few that were doing that the last few years. They literally upped the rent $300 to $500. It was like, whew. We still have some tenants that are paying way lower than market rent because the owner just didn't feel right. We had very, very, very good owners. The owner didn't feel right in putting them at $300 to $500 more every lease. So they're paying way under market. Like they should be paying probably $1,000 more than what they're paying. And they know they're in a really good spot. But I mean, anybody else, they would have been in trouble. So not good. What are the number of Airbnbs in the area, especially in the 55 plus communities? We want real neighbors. 55 plus communities is almost impossible to have Airbnbs. You can get short-term rentals, but most 55 plus communities require, and actually pretty much a lot of the HOAs require a 3-month minimum. So you might have a short-term rental, maybe for like the winter months, because that's the most lucrative for short-term rentals. And they normally come back year after year. So, but that's about as short-term as it gets, especially in 55 plus communities. There is almost no short-term rentals in 55 plus communities. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very often. Airbnbs, like, where you have a different person every week. Yeah, no. No. But check your HOA rules and regs. That will have right in there how long you can rent something out for, how long you have to be an owner before you can rent something out. To have short-term rental where it's rented for like 3 to 6 months, that possibly, like my mother-in-law, she is quite savvy. So she actually rented out her house, her own house, and she stayed with us, and then she stayed with some friends, and she just kind of went visiting for a few months. But she rented out her house in Oak Run for 4 months, and she basically had enough from that to cover her mortgage the rest of the year. So are there short-term rentals? Yes. Are there a lot of short-term? No. And she lived there for 11 years. It's not like, but she only did it like once or twice. She had a hard time with it because she was like, they move things. Yeah, they were staying in your house for 4 months. She's like, but they put my can opener in the cabinet. She's not somebody that should be doing that. Like, if you are really bothered by where they have placed your toaster, then yeah, no, you should not be doing that. Bless her heart. She doesn't do that anymore. She went ahead and sold the house in Oak Run, and she went and bought in a 55 plus mobile home community that's actually super close to our office. So she's like, it's literally in between our house and our office. So we have to pass her every day, twice a day. So, and she's right across the street from Publix. So I'm like, yeah, she's like, she's got the best of everything. She's got like Walgreens, a CVS, a bank, and a Publix, like right there. So she really doesn't have to travel too much, and Walmart delivers, and she's just happy as a clam, and it's gated community, and it's got the clubhouse and stuff, and she's happy. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Oak Run did, but she just turned 90. She doesn't really care anymore. So funny. Tesla 54, buy new or used? Personally, I would recommend buying new because new construction right now is ridiculously low. And they're offering all sorts of stuff. So depending on what you want, like if you want an acre of land or something, no, no, then you are definitely going to need to buy, we call it resale, not used, but yeah. So, and for cars, for me, I'm always like, oh, you always buy a car that's at least 2 years old. That does not apply for homes because the first year you actually have a new home construction warranty. So all of the weird little things that you have in a brand new house, everybody thinks brand new means perfect. That's not what it means. It means that that it's covered. But again, if the median house price is like 250,000 and you can get a brand new construction house with a warranty, with brand new roof, with brand new AC, with all of the stuff for the average house price, freaking buy brand new. Hello? Of course, buy brand new. If you can get brand new for the same price as a resale, yeah, buy brand new. LGI, are they good builders? That is such a hard question. So I had a customer that bought an LGI home and I went in and saw their construction and I thought it was great. I had no issues with the house. The person that purchased the home has been completely thrilled and happy and so excited about the home. And it's been about 2 years now. I haven't sold another one because I got so slashed on that one. I did a video on it and everybody's like, they are horrible. They've got a horrible reputation. But I didn't have anybody that had actually bought an LGI home say that. It was all like rumors and stuff. And I was just like, I don't like to trash them. If I can physically see that a house is good construction, I have a happy customer. But at the same time, there's a whole bunch of stuff like chewing me out online. I'm like, well, where there's smoke, there might be a fire. So unfortunately, I'm undecided. Based on my own personal experience with my customer, it has been a fantastic experience, fantastic home, really amazing, great price, great area. The sales experience was all fantastic. But I got walloped, just absolutely eaten alive in the comments on that one. So I don't know. I wish I could say more. I just don't know because, I don't know. Smash the like button helps the video numbers. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I got like raving fan over here. Tesla 54 says, I need to buy a car. My current car needs replacing. Am I okay to do this before buying a home in August? What is your debt to income ratio? Actually, go talk to a lender now. Have them run the numbers because you may end up spending more money on your interest rate because of that decision. So go talk to a lender now. Find out what they're going to give you and they may actually give you some tips. If they're a good lender, they'll be like, okay, pay $50 on this card and $100 on this card, and you're going to up your point. It's crazy, this software they have. Okay. Just follow their instructions and be like, hey, I need to buy a new car. And my husband just walked in and scared the bejesus out of me because I didn't know he was even here. I thought I was alone in the office and he just kind of slowly ghosted on in. I'm like, ah! Okay. You're leaving? Okay. I thought you were already gone. Okay. He's trying to catch up for this paperwork. Bye. Love you, hun. I'm in the worst wife ever. He knew where I was going to be. But I didn't know. I thought he went home. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, check that. Definitely check. Marion Oaks, good area to live. Y'all got the questions tonight. My goodness. Okay. Is Marion Oaks a good area to live? Okay. You're literally asking me the place it's okay. Marion Oaks is the size of a city. It's an entire zip code. There are tens of thousands of houses in there built at different time periods. Like if you go to Old Marion Oaks, which is right over by the community center, that is a completely different Marion Oaks than the one by the Deltona houses that are currently being built, or Timberwalk, or the new school that's coming in, or North Marion Oaks. Talk about North Marion Oaks is completely different because it's in between 484 and the trail, and it has a completely different school system. So to say whether a city essentially is good or bad, there's no way. There is no way I could answer that. Um, I will say that the houses, the old Marion Oaks houses, that we'll say historic. We'll say historic Marion Oaks houses. Those have much smaller yards. Those are like 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses from the 70s. So would I recommend that? No, not necessarily. Those houses are, I mean, even if you get a new construction house amongst all of that, no. So I would say, but like North Marion Oaks, gorgeous, all new construction houses, and it's right off the trail. So you can go walking on the trails and stuff. You can go biking. I mean, yeah, really cool. Plus, it's got Westport School District. So, especially North Marion Oaks, I'd be like, yeah, sign me up for that any day. I would happily live there, no problem. Then if you go down way to the south of Marion Oaks, that's also completely different because most of that is like 1-acre lots. So it's very rural. It's very much trees. There's some farms out there. I mean, totally, completely different. It is literally the size of a city. Okay. So there's different parts that, excuse me, I don't know, especially the newer homes and stuff, different school districts. Some of it's Denellen. Why they've got Denellen High School for Marion Oaks, I have yet to figure out, because it's like an hour trek for the kids to get to school. That's insane. So yeah, it really just depends. It really depends. If you want a realtor for Marion Oaks, snag Alati. She has lived there since 1991, and she's on the MSTU board. Like, she knows Marion Oaks. She knows every road in Marion Oaks. She has literally grown up in Marion Oaks. She is the queen of Marion Oaks. Okay. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. She will be like, what do you want? I got it. She's great. So yeah, just reach out to Alati. She's phenomenal. She'll definitely help you out there. Is On Top of the World worth to buy? Homeowners Association is $400 plus per month. Ew. No. Okay, it just depends on what you want. It really does. To be fair, I can't say that because it depends. It really depends on what you want. If you want, you want to have your utility bills included, because they do. I mean, I think that includes like water and trash, and I think cable. I mean, there's a lot of stuff included within that 400. It's not just like 400 is just the HOA. No, your utilities are in that. Another thing with On Top of the World is I believe in most of it, they have gas, and that's really super important to some people. Some people are like, I have to cook by gas. Okay, well, that's probably going to be right in On Top of the World. If you want to have a very close-knit community with your clubhouses and your clubs, and going to the ranch and doing like exercise classes, and going and doing breakfast over here and lunch over here and doing golfing, all the stuff, like it is very much a club over there. So if you want to do all of that, then yeah, it would be worth it. And also, it is very difficult to get into. As a realtor, I can get into anywhere, okay? On Top of the World is probably the most difficult one for even me to get inside of. Even if I have an appointment, they want my license. Mind you, do you know how often I have my updated real estate license? It's on my phone, so I would have to show them that. But I have like 6 licenses that I have to keep up with. I do not carry my wallet one. I do when I'm going to On Top of the World, though, because I can't get in unless I have that. The guard will not let me in. And I'm like, literally, I'm like the most known realtor in all of Marion County, and I can't get into On Top of the World. So that to see that their guards are on it, that is definitely true. They are very strict. If you want a pizza delivery guy after 6 o'clock at night, ain't gonna happen. Yeah, you got to be careful. Your Walmart delivery and stuff, they do not let vendors in after a certain time. So it does prove problematic at some points, but no, they're very strict. They're very strict. Very strict. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you really love that, you want everything to be just so great. Just remember they can change the rules at any point and you still have to abide by them. Yeah, that part bothers me too. Yeah. Let's see. Will resale values go down and on top of the world due to the new apartments? No, that is not why they would, because most of the new construction, especially that's coming into on top of the world for the last 4 years, 5 years now. Those are like $600,000 house. Those are gorgeous houses, beautiful, beautiful houses. It does not matter. It does not matter at all to them that there's some apartments coming in. It may slightly have an effect on the patio homes, which would be the most similar, but I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. Because there's a very vast difference between living in the apartment complex versus living in patio homes versus living in each section of On Top of the World. They have their own clique. Okay. So if you're in Candler Hills, okay. If you are over in, I forget what the newer section is called, but in the back 40, all that's all. No, it's not. Some people used to ask the same question about like, are all the prices going to, go crazy because of Calessa across the street? No, if nothing else, it's increased them because some people are like their family is moving into Calessa, like their grandkids and stuff. And then they're living in On Top of the World and they're just so happy about all of that. So no. We have always preferred new because of the warranties. Plus, I don't want to live in other people's color schemes. Hadn't thought of that. I always recommend everybody go to neutral when they're selling a home, but not everybody listens. I've seen some things. The pink house was probably the most horrific, truth be told. It was bright pink on all the carpeting. All the walls were matching. I don't know how they matched the paint to the carpeting, but they did. All of the furnishings also matched. It was pink. It was a lot of pink. And it was overload of pink. Although there was some Red Hat Society red and purple accents in the bathroom, which was also very pink. So, and it wasn't just a woman living, it was a couple. And I was just like, I wonder how he feels about living in the world of pink. And you can tell it was definitely the wife because she was dressed head to toe in Pepto-Bismol. It was a little rough. And I like pink. I even like those the bathrooms, the bathrooms that are like all pink. Yeah, I actually like those. I add black and gold accents, and I personally think that it's back in style. But you could definitely, retro up some pink and make it look really, really cute. This was not. This was overload. this was rough. It was not good. So yeah, it was just you can overdo things. And yeah, I definitely agree. That was her realtor needed to have a come into Jesus with her. Okay. Whew. But yes, brand new because of warranties is definitely also a very good idea. So you don't have to worry about your roof for the next 20 years. How great is that? How great is that? No DTI, no debt to income ratio. Then I don't really think it's going to matter too much unless you're buying $100,000 truck or something. I would check with a lender just to be on the safe side, but I don't think you're going to have an issue with buying your vehicle. Of course, if you buy it cash, then you don't have to worry about it anyway. So just buy it cash and then who cares? Do I have her contact info? The one that purchased the house in LGI, I have her contact info. I will have to check to see with her if I can release that because, that would not be good to, I think I would possibly get in trouble with that with my license. But I can ask her She might actually come on one of my videos. I'll check and see if she wants to do a video and if she's willing to do that, or if she's willing to share her contact information. I will let you know on my next Monday Night Live. But yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So I'll check with her and see if she's cool with that. She is super, super awesome. And but see, I knew her before I did YouTube, so I don't even know if she knows I'm on YouTube, truthfully. So, I was doing real estate before YouTube, y'all. So yeah, a lot of my customers and stuff, they're just like, so how's it going? I'm like, oh, I started doing this YouTube thing. And they're like, oh, that's so cute. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Know anything about the new homes coming to the farmland on 200? Yeah, because I live out there. I'm on the other side of the farmland, basically. So I actually kind of drive through that farmland every single day. We knew probably 15, almost 20 years ago, we knew that they were going to develop that farm. There's no way they can't. They really can't. All the other farms that are right up there on 200, those all got developed. It was one of the last holdovers kind of thing. But that's city. It really is. It's actually part of the city of Ocala. Okay, so to have extremely like urban, well, urban for us. Okay, it's not that urban, but that's where the city is growing the most, is right there in Southwest Ocala, right off of 200. And then to have this massive, he made bank, y'all. Okay. There's a public school currently being built on that farmland. Okay. So we all knew it was coming. We absolutely knew it was coming. They stopped really doing any kind of maintenance on that farm like 15 years ago. Okay. The fences, the outbuildings, everything. There's some houses that they had that they just kind of, Jumanji took it back. Okay. So we knew, okay, this is not just because it's making the papers now. They're like, oh, there's all these houses coming in. We knew 15 years ago. It was delayed because of the recession. But honestly, it would have already, if we didn't have the recession, it already would have been houses. Okay. We knew. So, it's not a huge big deal to most of us, because again, that we knew a long time ago. We've had 15 years to get used to the idea. We've enjoyed looking at the beautiful farmland, but they built a 4-lane road right through the middle of it already. And they're still going. So one of the busiest roads in Marion County is going through that farmland, and I take it to work every single day. I promise I'm what I'm talking about. They literally took a road that is going to be all the way to the bottom of Marion Oaks. It's going to go all the way up to 326. Okay. And they started in that farmland. That's where the first section was put. And like I said, I take that road every single day. They're building a school right there on the corner. They're not really talking about that so much in the news, but they are talking about the houses coming in, even though they've been building houses on that farmland for 4 years now, 5 years now. So yeah, it makes the news. They make a big deal out of it. And it's like, they're just developing another section of the same thing they've been developing for the last 5 years, and the thing that they've been talking about developing for the last 15. So it's going to continue to develop. We already knew that. It's already in the city of Ocala. Like it's within the city limits. Like of course it's going to get developed. If you want to keep the farmland outside of the city limits, then the farmland inside of the city limits is going to get developed. So we want to keep the farmland. We really want to preserve that. We absolutely want to keep Ocala being the horse capital of the world and all of that. But we also have to give up some stuff too. And that means if there's a horse farm where the developer the owner of it very, very much wants to sell, and it's, there's developers that are dying to develop it. It's right there in town. It's going to get developed. It's going to get developed. It's not even a question. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm behind on my questions. Oh my God. Okay. How many HOAs have budget problems and go broke? My concern is that the HOA will go up every year and make constant changes. That would suck. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that really would. Okay, so if you go into an HOA, you could join the board. You can also ask for the financials. If you can make it a stipulation as part of your contract before purchasing a home. You get to see the financials for that homeowners association. And so the seller will put in writing to the board that they want to see the financials. And I think the board by law has like 5 days to get it to them. So if you want to see the financials and you can see how much is in reserve, and normally they have a considerable amount in reserve, then you should be good to go. So if it's, if it's a healthy board, they've been taking care of it and everything, they've got a good amount in reserves for, I don't know, if the gates break down or if there's private roads to fix the roads or whatever. They should have all of that in reserve, and it'll clearly show it and clearly spell it out right there. There should be absolutely no issues with having transparency with that. Now, that being said, that's an HOA. There are quite a few that are not HOAs. They're actually developer owned, such as Kalesa on Top of the World, Cherrywood. Those are not HOAs. Those are not HOAs. Those are owned by the developer. It was never turned over to the homeowners association. So it's not homeowners that are in control of it. It is still the builder developer, because the builder developer is still building. So they're going to maintain control until there is nothing more to build, and then they will most likely turn it over to the homeowners at that point. The other ones that I would say, there are some HOAs that have financial issues, but we already know what they are, and I don't sell in those. So you're never going to see me like, yeah, let's go. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to be like, okay, well, that one is having a little problem financially. So we're not going to go and look at that unless you are cool with the financial responsibilities that may be incurred. But no, I don't, I do full disclosure. If I know about it, you're going to know about it, because I don't want anybody to ever say, oh, my realtor never told me. If I know about it, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to know about it if I possibly can. I'm going to find out. So if there's even one, I know there's a subdivision over by me that there was some issues and stuff that came up. And so I just don't show houses in there because I don't have any faith that those issues have been resolved. So I've never sold a house in that subdivision. So I don't know. It just depends. Last summer we were planning to move to Ocala and then move to Spain. Okay, well, that's a little bit of a difference. Spain? Okay, I forgive you. I'm kidding. So hopefully Spain is working out. Oh, the person in Marion Oaks. Oh, I thought you were wanting the customer of the LGI. I see way too many questions in here. Yes, of course I can give you Eladi's phone number. I don't even have to ask her permission. I'll straight up give you her cell phone. Hang on one second. I gotta check. Oh man, I just printed that out too. This is I was updating the phone list for a company today. So this is the old one, but hers is still on here. Hers didn't change. Okay. For Eladi, it's 352-454-4099. Man, she is never going to forgive me for that one. Hopefully she ain't watching. That is Eladi. I know it's a super weird name, but I love it anyway. For fun's sake. She is, she's just, we always tease her. We can't figure out how she gets 30 hours in her day and we only get 24, because she is always she's on it. She's one of those people that will literally say, hey, yeah, I'll be over at your house at 2 a.m. with soup. And she really will be over at your house at 2 a.m. with soup. Like, a lot of people can promise, but they don't deliver. She delivers. She's like, and I don't know how she does it, because there's only so many hours in the day. I really think she gets 30 and somehow we only get 24. It's very weird. But if she says she's going to do something, she is freaking going to do it. It's going to be done. Whether she has to lose sleep, whether she has to hire somebody, if she says it's going to be done, it is going to be done. Period. It is crazy. And if you say you're going to do something and then you don't, she will she'll roll you on the carpet right there. She was the one that, she was the one that was with that group of people, and they were calling me monkey and I didn't understand. And she's like, I don't know why they would say that. And so she's like, why are you calling her that? I was like, Elodie, let it go. I was just gonna okay, question it and just leave it alone. No, she will straight up, she will straight up say her mind. She will do it lovingly and she'll do it with a smile, but she will tell you exactly the way she is feeling, and exactly if there's a question to be asked, she does not hesitate. So she's awesome because you always know where you stand. If there's a hard thing that nobody wants to tell you, she will tell you. She'll do it lovingly, and you can't help but respect that, so she is all my respect. But yeah, she is like the queen of Marion Oaks. She knows everywhere in Marion Oaks. She knows everybody in Marion Oaks, and they all love her. So yeah, Shiloh, the contact person for the real estate who knows Marion Oaks. That's her. That's Elodie Fonseca. She's down there. Feel free to give her a call, and she will help you out with that. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I was like, I can't give you my LGI customer phone number. That I gotta ask first. But yeah, no, that's fine. It's okay. It's been a while since I was in here, y'all. Okay. When will the road that Saddlebrook School is? When will the road probably open that Saddlebrook School is opening? I don't know. I believe that's going to be because they're doing like a development back there, or they're trying to do a development back there, but the road wasn't big enough to handle all the traffic and everything. So I don't know. Once they're done with that, though, that's going to be more development back there. Builder development management equals CCD. Builder development. No. Hold on. There we go. So that's not okay. Okay, so my understanding was that's the leased land that you don't own, but let me just make sure I'm not messing my acronyms up. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, land lease. CCD. Okay. Just checking. Okay. So I was like, that's not what that means. Okay. So, so you can, for example, on top of the world, the patio homes, the lovely patio homes, you don't own the land underneath the patio homes. So, and that's actually something that's becoming more and more popular is you can purchase the house, but the land underneath it, you only get for 100 years. So, and you can go ahead. So it's kind of weird. I don't particularly like those. I like, fee simple. It's not a land lease. It's actually, you get the house. When you asked that question, I was like, excuse me. Anyway, I was double thinking myself. I gotta quit studying Spanish, y'all. I'm not gonna even learn English anymore. But yeah, so if you are on top of the world and you purchase the patio homes, for example, then you're going to have a land lease for the land. And since those are not new construction, you're actually probably not going to get 100 years. You're going to get whatever's remaining from the 100 years the original owner had, if that helps. So it does kind of make some interesting problems for your financing, because there are some financing that you cannot use with that. Okay, so they will literally require it to be fee simple. So yeah, So not lease. Anyway, but yeah, that's actually more and more common that you're going to have a land lease community. We don't have it as much here, and that's another thing that can supposedly save you money when you have a land lease situation. I don't think it really does. And again, there are some issues when you go to sell it because, let's say you're the third owner or whatever, and you've only got 75 years. I mean, it's not like you're going to have it for 75 years anyway, but still, I don't know. It just, it gives the homeowners association or developer more say in how the community is run and what they can do with it and all of that. But it does create issues with your financing when you go to do those. I think which one? There's another portion of On Top of the World that does land leases in there, and there's some of Lennar communities that are doing land leases. In other areas, it's so totally common that they're like, what do you mean it's not CCD? But we don't have it here. We really do not have that much of it here at all. But it's coming. It is coming in. I've noticed more and more they're doing that. And I'm like, ew, why? Why? Anyway, so it basically just means that the developer owns the land. You just have an incredibly long lease on the land as purchasing it. So there are some other stipulations to On Top of the World that you may not be aware of. For example, you cannot do a reverse mortgage in there. It is absolutely they will not do. You cannot do it. It's part of their homeowners. They don't want, if you, let's see, what is it? I think you have to have the ability to have like 30% equity. I don't know. There's some financial issues that you have to be very financially stable in order to purchase in On Top of the World. We'll put it that way. You cannot do reverse mortgages. They don't want it at all whatsoever, because technically there is a foreclosure that has to happen after you pass away for the reverse mortgage to go through. And then how are the HOA going to get fees and stuff while that's going through, and who's going to take care of the lawn while it's going through. So all of those reasons, they just don't want them in there. So they ban them. Yeah, everybody's like, what? Yeah. So just some heads up on that one. On Top of the World, I believe, is the only one that has stipulations like that in there. But heads up. Let's see. Thinking of buying a piece of land to place a modular or manufactured home. I want to be about an hour commute to Universal Resort in Southern Marion County. Universal Resort in Southern Marion County. I don't even know where Universal Resort is, but I'm sure it'll be very cool. Okay, so if you're wanting to do a modular or manufactured home, then you're probably going to most likely need to do R4 zoning. So just make sure that you look for R4. That's the zoning that will allow for non-site built homes. And yeah, so make sure you do that, and you should be golden. But there is plenty of land, especially going towards like Bellevue, Summerfield. They definitely have quite a bit of R4. Marion Oaks, absolutely no. It all has to be site built homes. It's in the deed restrictions. There's no HOA, but there are deed restrictions. So Rolling Hills has to be site built. So no modular, no manufactured. Silver Spring Shores, basically the entire zip code of 34472, 34473, and all of Rolling Hills, which is over 5,000 sites. Absolutely no R4, no zone. It has to be site built. So just basically chit chat with your realtor. They will be very easily able to pull up the zoning for that and get you a piece of land that is perfect for what you're looking for. Easy peasy, right? $12.69 per month. Cute. Okay. Random topic. Thanks for your video and topics on local restaurants. Oh, you like that one? I had so much editing with that one. I'm not doing that again for a while. I almost did. I was going to do, there's like a long list of fun stuff to do Like if you just want to do something for a weekend, or you have family visiting, or if you're coming to the area and you want to visit, there's a super long list of stuff that you can do while you're here. That majority, 99% of it I've done. So I have like all these pictures and stuff, but man, the editing on that video would be, whew. So I don't know. I think maybe it'll just be one of my back projects that, I have in the back burner for like a year, and then I eventually do it all in one weekend. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, the top 20, that was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I will update it each year. And I just now know that it is, my husband said, maybe you should just go for top 10 next time. But there's so many good restaurants. There was no way I could do just top 10. I already with 20 had to nix some. It was so hard. It was so hard. Oh my goodness. There were so many restaurants that I was like, I love you, but I can't. I gotta, oh, it was awful. Oh my goodness. Can you give a good contact number for you and the realty office? Of course. I gotta make sure I'm actually typing in there. Okay. Okay, so that is our office number. Absolutely. Anytime that you want to call. And Nadina is the one that will most likely be answering. She can put you through to one of our agents. My agents will set up anything. I'm like so accessible to them. It's ridiculous. I need to be less accessible to them is what I need to do. So, yeah, so they can snag me anytime, put us on a 3-way call or whatever. If I'm in the office and I don't have any appointments, then you're more than welcome to just ask for me. But Medina is the gatekeeper, and she is my own personal guard. Like she's so freaking awesome. Y'all don't even know. Because she knows I will get distracted with somebody, and then I will not turn in like the Florida sales and use tax or something and get charged $50 extra. So she knows I gotta do my stuff. So I gotta work before I can play. But as long as I'm not like recording something or doing something, then she'll come snag me. But any of the agents, they know they can just snag me anytime. And then in the description of this video, my Calendly is there. So if you just want to use that, it'll ask you like some basic questions like your name, your phone number, email, like what you want to talk about or whatever. And it actually puts itself right onto my calendar. And then it'll ask you if you want to meet in person, if you want to meet via video chat, or if you want just a phone call. And that pops you right into so you don't even have to go through the office or Medina or my agents or anything. It just goes right into my calendar and stuff. But yeah, but I do have to work by appointment because I can't if somebody calls me on the 29th or the 30th, I got 7 hours of classes I'm teaching per day in Miami. And one of them's in Hialeah, and I've heard of that place. I need to be aware of the situation and the location. So I can't be talking on the phone. But yeah, I loved doing the restaurant one. That was a lot of fun. Can you give a contact? Okay, got that one. So I'm good. I'm so glad, Shiloh. I chatted for an hour and 47 minutes, y'all. I need to get off of this thing. I gotta go home. Yes, I do like Marion Landing. Actually, I do like that whole area. It's very, very basic. If you're looking for like a whole bunch of bells and whistles, that ain't gonna happen over there. I would say I like Oak Run. That's probably my favorite. It's not like the most bougie, but it's a very nice place. And everybody I've talked to that has lived there, I actually talked to one owner. He literally could have lived anywhere. Literally had the money to move anywhere he wanted. He moved back to Oak Run. So, and he's happy as a clam over there. So yeah, I would say it's just a really nice place to live. I think it's kind of above middle is where because there's like, there's this and then there's this and then there, you could just keep going down. You can keep on going down. But it's like just about it's one of the places I would live without a problem. So, and there's different sections in it as well. So, you can have like one of the smaller older homes, or you can have one of the not brand new. They're done with building. So one of the newer homes, and the pools are really nice and the clubhouse is really nice. And You can go golfing if you want, or you can go to the clubhouse. There's a whole slew of like there's 50 bazillion different clubs they have. They have like the German club, the I don't know, Irish club, the the card game club, the poker club, the bridge club. I mean, they've got all the clubs, okay? And they've got a really nice fitness center, like top of the line fitness center. I don't know. It's a nice one. It's nice. It doesn't have a guard, but it does have a gate. So, you know, I don't know. For me, I think I would have a harder time living on top of the world, but I don't know. I don't live there. So, and everybody that lives on top of the world, they love it. So I can't say that. I don't know. But I do I like Okran. All right, I am getting out of here. Thanks for the fun. You guys made it fun. I was just answering. I was barely keeping up with y'all, and half the time I didn't understand the question that we were going through. Can I have her number? My customer? Are you out of your gourd? I gotta ask for. No, blonde, your agent. The one we're talking about. I was a little delayed. There was a lot going on over in the chats tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Y'all made it so much fun. I really, really, truly appreciate it. If you need anything at all, you've got our office number in there. You got Lottie's phone number in there. You have got all the stuff. So thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate how much you guys were talking and chatting tonight because it made it so much more fun. All right, y'all have a good night. I'm going to get home. It is getting dark outside, shockingly. And I will see you next time. Bye.